We got the SNK fighting game, I believe Athena. Only 400 pieces, 399 exactly. And it's not a bad price. It was about maybe 600, maybe 650. It's listed as 1/4 scale, but it's much smaller than a standard 1/4 scale statue. If I can use my hand as a reference, though it doesn't really show that much. I mean, it's more like 1/5 or 1/5 and a half. It's definitely smaller than a 1/4. Like Felicia right here is definitely 1/4. And Injustice Wonder Woman, definitely 1/4. So Athena here, a little slightly smaller than 1/4, closer to 1/5, or I would say a 1/5 and a half. It's close to 1/4, but yeah, I would say smaller, slightly smaller, but definitely worth the price. Again, it was only maybe $600. It's a little hard to tell on my little cell phone camera, but she has a decent amount of blush, pink color blush on her cheeks, on her face, on her eyes, her eyelids. There's a slight pinkish blush, pink makeup on her face. Also on her body, just slight touches of pink, a pink blush all over, which is nice. Her nails are pretty shiny. Her lips are really shiny. If I can get the camera to stay still. Her lips are definitely very shiny. Nice gloss, nice shiny gloss. A certain amount of wetness, that wet look on her lips. Her eyes have a slightly, I guess what you call it, acrylic or glass look. It's not glass, like how HMO is known for doing glass eyes, but her eyes definitely have a shiny look, glossy look, which is a nice surprise. Just like her lips. Her lips again have that nice shiny, nice glossy look. And again, her eyes. Ooh, I'm a little bit out of breath trying to hold this camera still. She has nice green gems on her sword. This 1, 2, 3. Green gems on her arm bracelet. There's actually 2 of them. If I can tilt the camera. 1, 2. And her arm bracelet on the other arm, but it's hidden by the shield and her hair. There's 2 green gems on her other bracelet. There was a real pain in the real pain in the ass assembly process with the arrows and the strap for her sword. What's that word? Leash? Her sword holder, her sword carrier, her sword case. You gotta attach the leather part, which is not real leather, I don't think it is, to the holder, but this part, it uses a teeny tiny pin and it's a pain to get the pin inside of the holder. So what I eventually had to do, I had to take the headpiece off, take the shoulder off, and place the pin, close it up, close the pin up, again the leather part to the holder part, close the pin in, and then try to put it over her shoulder with her head off and this hand with the sword, with the shield off. So I had to take this piece off and this piece off, put the pieces together, snap tight, and then put the leather strap around her body, the body mold. So you gotta, it's kind of a pain in the butt process. And again, the same thing here. It uses a teeny tiny pin that you almost gotta use the flashlight on your phone or any sort of bright light source and find the teeny tiny peg and stick it in there. And again here, it uses a teeny tiny pin also, and you gotta use the flashlight on your phone or another bright light source to find the exact positioning and stick it in there. So one, two, the two arrows, and the strap for her sword holder. It's not hollow. You can see that it has material. Oops, it has material inside, blue material. So it's not hollow. But yeah, there's a teeny tiny pin that connects the fake leather part to the holder part. And it's very difficult to get the two pieces to snap together. So again, remove her head and remove this arm with the shield. And it's a slow process, but eventually I got everything together. So again, 1, 2, 3, very difficult to get to assemble. Everything else was pretty much easy. Her foot goes into a peg. This foot stands on the base. There's no peg. You put her arms together. Oh, the sword. This gem comes apart. You pull it apart and you insert the sword in her hand, and then you push the gem back inside. This shield is attached to her arm. So the shield and arm are together, and you just push it into the slot right there for her shoulder. I did have to kind of do my little personal adjustments, my personal fixes, where, if I can find it, do I have it close by? Basically, I use super glue, a very teeny bit of super glue for this joint, for both arm joints, this one and that one. Again, exactly where the bracelet touches her skin. The bracelet touches her skin. I use a little bit of a very tiny bit with a Q-tip, not a Q-tip, a toothpick, and I put a teeny tiny bit of crazy glue, super glue, on both joints, because the default setting or the natural setting is that this arm, it's slightly leaning downwards, so I wanted it to be more upwards. So I set the glue in place, held the arm to her body so that the glue sets, and same thing with this arm, a teeny tiny bit of super glue, and then you hold the arm, hold it physically with your hands, to her shoulder, and hold it for like 2 minutes so that the super glue sets. And that way, if it's in an awkward position, especially this arm, the magnet almost does not touch. The magnet almost doesn't make contact, so it's very loose. So, God forbid, this almost happened with another statue, a different statue. When you try to move the statue, when you try to pick up the base and move it to wherever, there's a slight possibility, actually a very strong possibility, that this arm or the shield is going to fall out due to gravity or due to you shaking it, because the magnet doesn't fully make contact where it should make contact. So again, I use a teeny tiny bit of super glue. I applied it with a toothpick, and I got it in there. Again, you hold it in place with your hand physically for about 2 minutes, and it usually sets after say 2 to 5 minutes. And again, with the second joint, put a little bit of super glue, hold it with your hand physically for 2 to 5 minutes, and it usually sets in place. Again, this arm, the problem with this one, it wasn't falling off. It was just at a slightly lean. It had a slight downwards lean, so I set it in place with the super glue so it's more upwards, And I think it looks good like that. The sword is, I think it's plastic. I'm afraid to touch it because I might knock the alignment of the super glue again where I put the joint, but I'm afraid to touch the sword again physically, but I'm pretty sure it was plastic when I felt it. But it has a very realistic metal look, metallic look. Very realistic metal look. Really nice. Again, her eyes are very beautiful, very well done. A light blush, a light pink blush on her face, on her lips. Very, very beautiful. Very beautiful. Very gorgeous. Big boobs. Nice. Nice feet. Polish on her toenails. Very shiny, very glossy. Same thing. Very shiny, very glossy toenail paint. Light pink. Ooh. And this is not cloth, it's just regular porcelain. But it has a nice cloth look. Very nice. Nice golden red. Kind of shiny. Oh, and when you stick the arrows in place, you can kind of adjust them slightly at the angle that you prefer. So you can twist them, turn them slightly. But again, it's a real pain to actually set them inside of the slot. You have to actually set them inside the slot. It's a real pain. Again, same with the strap. Well, overall, a very good purchase. Again, it's not exactly 1/4 scale. It's a little bit smaller than your average 1/4 scale statue. I'd say it's about 19 inches tall. Unfortunately, I don't have my tape measurer right next to me. I can't wait to try to set up a new shelving system so I can put it next to my Prime 1 Wonder Woman. She also has arrows on the ground, arrows in the base, a shield, sword, looking very fierce. And, of course, the golden red. The shield, I guess the one complaint is the shield has a more wood look. Like a wood material rather than a metallic material. It would have been nice if they made it more metallic and more gold, but it has more of a flat wood look. Like it's not shiny, not glossy. It's just like looks like plain average wood. But yeah, would have been nice if they made it more metallic looking. So that's the only one flaw, only one critique that I could really point out. But it looks nice though, especially the way they added the scratches. That's a real nice touch, which they didn't have to do. So the scratches on the outside and even on the inside has scratches also. So that's something that they didn't really have to do. It's a nice touch. Like she's really been in a lot of battles, a lot of wars. But yeah, it's not as shiny as golden looking as Wonder Woman's shields. Oop, can't get a good angle on it. Sorry. But yeah, I can't wait to set up a shelving space. Put this one, Prime 1, next to Athena here. Ooh, nice. And eventually I'm expecting the Prime 1 Wonder Woman versus Hydra. But that's, I think, 1/3 scale. So I'm a little bit worried about that one. It might be too large for my collection, which is basically 1/4 everything. Except for this big ass Predator, which is more like 1/3. But they advertise it as 1/4. But yeah, I'm expecting Wonder Woman versus Hydras from Prime 1. But that's gonna be something special at 1/3 scale. But should match nicely with this. Even with Felicia a little bit. My Arena, League of Legends. And my Casca, again from Prime 1. With her sword. And debris on the battlefield. Additional swords, shields, broken shields, helmets on the battlefield, on the base. So Casca, maybe try to put her next to this one and that one. But that's in the future. Typical collector saying, "Oh, I don't have space now, but in the future I'll get a new base, a new shelving solution." But yeah, really nice statue. Definitely worth the price. Her head can be tilted very slightly to the left or right. Very, very slightly. So you can adjust it. As a little bit of leeway. Not a lot. But you can adjust it slightly to the left or slightly to the right. This is looking nice, like it's flown in the wind. Again, a very nice statue. Definitely worth the money. I was a little bit worried when I took it out of the box because the instruction manual, when you look at the instruction manual, the photos have the colors really washed out. So like the purple in her hair, purplish blue in her hair, her skin tone look really washed out once you open the box and look at the instructions manual, the assembly manual. So the actual figure is not washed out, and the colors are very vivid, very bright. Her hair, her skin, the blush, the makeup on her face and body. So just be aware that once you take the instructions out of the box, you might be in for a rude awakening, thinking, "Oh my God, is it gonna be washed out and very light looking, very lifeless and pale, pasty looking, like these pictures?" But again, it's not. It's definitely more vivid, more bright. The actual figure itself, the actual statue itself, her hair, her skin, again, everything is really nice. A very good paint job. And I love the base, very detailed. A little angel with broken wings on the bottom of the base. And again, this red and gold piece at the bottom. It's a nice touch. Looking nice with Berserk behind her. Again, really nice. Nice.